Hi, this is G from Energy Blends, where it's all about the energy. We're a company that is devoted to creating wire-wrapped crystal jewelry and other items, but we don't just make the jewelry and the other items. Anyone can do that. We're all about understanding and manipulating energy to sculpt something that becomes a tool and can actually help enhance or support whatever it is you're engaged in your life path. So when making a piece of jewelry, the first question is, why? What is the purpose of taking a crystal and making it wearable? Now, for argument's sake, I'm going to make something for you right now, and it's going to be an arrangement of stones that enhances strength. You're dealing with situations that are stress-inducing. Strength is always going to wane. So I have 3 crystals here, and the point is, which one do I choose? And the first place to start always is which one attracts you, which one draws you in, because that's the one that's going to have something special. It's compatible with your energy. Now, I could go with this cut and polished double terminated piece, and I'm using quartz as an example because this is a stone that channels all the colors of the light spectrum. So I could use this by itself to enhance, to amplify, to harmonize, or I could add something to it to make it a little bit more interesting. Now, this piece is not cut and polished. This is a naturally occurring laser, and I call it a laser because the very tip is much smaller than the top. And the way energy runs through crystals, it always goes from one end in the direction of the point. When you've got 2 points, it runs both ways. And then the body of the crystal acts as a balancing chamber to eliminate discordant energies and to make the energy more harmonious. In this case, the energy is going to run in the direction of the point. And since I'm thinking about making something that will enhance physical energy, I want the energy to come down in the material plane, so the point will be downward. Now, this piece is a little bit more interesting. It is double terminated, but it is also a natural piece. It's also a cluster. You'll see that there are added little points connected to it, and while it is difficult to see in this angle where these terminated faces come together, it creates a formation known as an celestial, something that is very skeletal or brain-like. And when we talk about celestials in the future, I'll show you other examples of what they are. Now, this piece doesn't really talk to me right now. It's the laser that's making the most impact. So I'm going to put these aside, and I'm going to focus on wrapping this laser. Now, I could wrap it in gold. Right now I'm looking at silver. I could wrap it in gold. Gold is a yang metal. It's male. It's very hot. It stimulates action or activity. It's very generating. Silver is a yin metal. It's very feminine. It's very internal. It has a dialogue. It's very communicative, so it can communicate with you and with others. It bridges gaps. But for our purposes today, since I'm looking to make energy come within the physical body, I'm going to have this energy directed downward. And so I'm going to start using, this is a simple electrician's needle nose pliers, and the inside is smooth, so it's not going to put any ridges on my wire. And I'm going to twist this very small 3. 3 is the magic number. 3 is the least amount you can twist where the wire will not automatically open itself. And I'm going to hold it in place lower down and allow the unique shape of the crystal to hold the wire in place so that this piece will not fall out. And then what I'm going to do is wrap around one of the wires in the front, one of the wires in the back, and continue to twist 3 times to make sure that the wire is tight. Now, you'll notice that the wire in the back is not laying exactly straight. That's not a problem, because in the end, we're going to crimp it and make it nice and tight. So I'm doing the third, making sure that the wrapping on the side is symmetrical. I do like asymmetrical work on occasion, but I'd like to start with a certain degree of symmetricality. And now I'm looking to finish this initial webbing or netting or cage, if you prefer. What you're making is an enclosure that will prevent the piece from falling out and at the same time will be able to stand up to wear and tear. Remember, you're going to be living your life. And you don't want a piece that just looks pretty. You want to make sure that while you're moving around and putting on jackets and doing a variety of physical activities, you're not going to significantly impact the wrap. So here I have the basic structure of the wrap, and I'm looking at it, and this looks kind of bland to me. Now I can get strength out of this piece, or I can look at it the way you look at creating a recipe. Working with crystals and combining crystal energies is like cooking with crystals. So this would be chicken soup with a little salt, and the wire represents the salt. But now I want to punch this up and add something a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to include some other energies. And what I have here is a bead of tourmaline. This is blue-green tourmaline. And this is one of the things I really like about tourmaline. It doesn't always come with just one color. Very often you'll see a variety of hues in one stone. Blue-green combination is quite effective for creating strength because blue, which is associated with the throat energy point or chakra, is areas where you use your will, issues of will and expression. So you use your will, if you can say it, you can do it. So you use your will to strengthen the heart chakra. Green is that energy for strength. And so these two work together to enhance the heart energy point. And then I've added garnet. Garnet is one of those all-around buddies. They love a party. They get along with everyone, or just about everyone. They're very passionate stones. They're very persistent. Never give up. Never give up. And they're also very confidence-boosting stones. So these two together are a great complement. And by adding it to quartz, I've added another element, and that's the element of clarity. Learning about how to be strong. I mean, remember, this is not a magic pill. This is not going to suddenly strengthen your body. But what this energy is going to do is create a shift in your own energy field to create a different way of looking at the way you live your life. And so now you have this new understanding of clarity that helps you understand what you need to do in order to increase the amount of strength and support in your life. So I also like to create a certain amount of balance. So I'm going to finish this piece and create an avenue for adding the tourmaline and the garnet. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to clip off these ends and simply wrap it around. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And when I finish this piece, I will more securely crimp these edges. Now, I don't need a very large loop or a neck here because I'm going to be adding something that would make this piece even longer. So I'm just going to make a small enough loop that will allow for the addition of the tourmaline and the garnet. I like the idea of movement. Sometimes when a piece is a little bit too static, and there's a lot of issues going on and the energy needs to be channeled, if there isn't enough movement to allow that energy to be run out of the piece, some pieces blow up. I did a piece for a friend of mine recently. It was a wonderful tabby, which is designed to bridge gaps. And I added a blue stone because this woman is a minister who also sings. And I get a call from her, and she says, Gina, you need to strengthen this piece. You need to, it's kind of loose in the setting. And she gave it back to me, and I took a look at it, and the piece blew into 3 pieces. And I guess it's a testament to how well I made it because none of the pieces fell out of the setting. But clearly something's going on with the energy that caused that one piece to turn into 3. The energy just blew it apart. So sometimes it's a good idea to, especially with someone who's working in a healing environment and might be taking on the energy of someone else, You're going to want to be able to create a mechanism by which that energy can run through and be harmlessly dispelled into the universe. Okay, now comes the fun part. We're going to find a way to add those two stones, and I'm going to guesstimate. I'm not too concerned about any leftover of silver wire. This is 24 gauge, round sterling soft. I save all my scraps and they send them into a metal company that actually pays me back for my scraps. So I save everything. So if this is too much, that's fine. Better too much than too little. And so the idea now is to create the means by which this can be attached to that lower half. And we'll make, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7. I usually work on eyeballing how much I need. And I'm always looking for the amount of balance. Is it too big? Is it too little? What does it look like? What does it feel like? So it isn't just about that dialogue with the crystal. It's also the dialogue with the artistry of the piece that you're making. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a void. And a void is a circle. I already have one void that's holding this added neck for movement, but I'm going to add a second void. And again, the voids represent infinity. They represent out of emptiness, all things come. And they also represent the womb, or the ability to access feminine energy. This can be a great tool when you're making a piece for someone who is overly yang. You add a couple of voids, and that will increase the ability to connect with that feminine side. And so now it's a matter of, let's start connecting. With a little luck, this bead will fit, and it does. How nice is that? And I'm going to move the wire around it to hold it in place. And just twist it a couple of times. And then here I'm going to unravel this just a bit because I want to put the garnet underneath. Remember, garnets are grounding stones. So I want to be able to act as a magnet and pull in that green. Pull in that blue-green, that heart strength. And then what I'm going to do is I want to stimulate this activity. Again, learning about something means nothing if you don't do anything with the information. So we're going to add a little pepper in this stew. And the pepper in this stew is gold-filled beads. Now, I do work in 14 or 12 karat gold. It's quite an expensive metal, as I'm sure you're aware of. And I find that the difference between the gold and the gold-filled really isn't enough to make a difference for the extra expense. There's enough of that yang stimulus to make it work. So I'm going to finish off this loop. I'll wrap it around once and cut it off. Crimp the end. And attach it here, where we will ultimately add the loop or the neck that will be attached to whatever it is you want to wear this with. You want to wear on a chain, silver or gold is fine. Some people don't do well with metals around the neck. Sometimes rawhide works better. There's silk cord available that can also make it nice. I'm going to wrap this end, cut it off and crimp it, and then make the neck. Now I want to make a neck big enough to accommodate a variety of different sizes. Now this is not a very heavy piece, and so you really have the option. You can put it on a thicker chain or rawhide or thinner, but I want to be able to give you the option. And I'm going to finish off one end again, wrap the loop around, cut it off, and then crimp it. And at the very end, I'm not going to show that today. In later videos, I'll show that. I'm going to show you how I have a collection of files that I'll file down in case there are any sharp edges to make sure that this doesn't catch onto clothing or scratch the skin. All right, we don't want to make pieces that hurt people. We only want to make pieces that help people. So that's good enough. Lock it in. Now comes the best part. Now we get to finish the piece. And finishing refers to making sure that it's in balance, that the wire is symmetrical where it needs to be, asymmetrical where it doesn't need to be symmetrical. Make sure our voids are nice and round. And now I want to make sure that this piece is locked in. So I'm going to crimp the wire. Now you can do crimping any way you like. I tend to do it along a line, along the spine or the imaginary spine of the crystal. But if you want to make a pattern out of that, you can. That's where the interesting nature of one-of-a-kind jewelry comes in. And here we have a laser quartz with blue-green tourmaline. And will this help show the colors? Blue-green tourmaline and garnet, designed to ground in strength, to handle whatever stress-induced situations are coming along. And this piece is available on my website, www.energyblends.com. Any piece that we make in subsequent videos will be available for purchase. And of course, when you go to the website, you'll see my book, Combining Crystal Energies, Recipes for Making Crystal Jewelry. And the book is designed as a primer, helping you to understand how to make not just a piece of jewelry, but something that is an energetic tool that can enhance the quality of your life. Thanks a lot. See you again.